The student body at large supports the fraternity system for a multiplicity of reasons. None of these is more valid than simple self-interest. For example, I'm in, or want to be, in a fraternity because of what it can do for me. I need it, says the student, either because fraternities dominate Colgate's social life or because all my friends are there, or simply because that's the way it is.
Greek organizations at Colgate University have dominated the social scene for the majority of the 20th century. Ideals such as brotherhood and companionship instilled at these fraternity houses have created long-lasting friendships and enhanced the Greek life experience. Students desired to join these houses mainly because there were no other options. It wasn't a question of whether or not a student would join a fraternity, rather the question was which fraternity a student would strive to be accepted into. This perception of the fraternity system at Colgate University significantly changed in the fall of 1968 due to the increase in cost experienced by the fraternities.
Surprisingly, this increase in cost was not a result of an incident at Colgate, but rather an event which occurred at Cornell. This event was the Cornell dormitory fire in April of 1967. This fire took the lives of 9 Cornell students and was a major topic of the January 1968 Colgate meeting amongst the Board of Trustees. As a result of the Cornell dormitory fire, Colgate decided to change its policy on the requirements of fraternities' liability insurance. Effective in the fall of 1968, fraternities were now required to purchase $200,000 per person, $1 million per accident, comprehensive public liability insurance coverage. Of the 15 fraternities at Colgate at this time, only 4 of them previously possessed this amount of coverage. Having to come up with the money to pay for these new, more expensive insurance policies presented the fraternities with a serious ultimatum: pay more money per member or allow more members into the fraternity. Not wanting to fall victim to increasing personal costs, the fraternities chose to accept more pledges.
Looking at the number of members of each fraternity, one would think that the desire to be in a fraternity experienced a surge in 1968 due to the fact that almost every fraternity experienced an increase in members. However, this need for more members resulted in a shift of power from the fraternities to the prospective pledges. The entire recruiting process had changed. Fraternities were in need of members and could no longer be as selective as they were in the past. The precious ideals such as brotherhood and camaraderie were being devalued and increasingly lost. The fraternities were now forced to sell their product with varying amounts of pride and desperation.
For the first time, we were competing with several fraternities for the same guy. It used to be that, at the most, we'd be in competition with 1 or 2 other houses. This year, freshmen were receiving formal bids for the pledge banquets from 3 and 4 houses.
Prior to this change, there was a well-known tradition of the Axman, whose job was to walk around during the Friday evening meal of formal rush week and tell freshmen who the fraternity wasn't interested in to look elsewhere. This tradition was quickly replaced by a new tradition of the filler. These were freshmen that were accepted into fraternities only to avoid an increase in room and board costs for the members of the fraternities. One assistant rush chairman is quoted as saying,
"Look, we need 22 freshmen each year. I'd rather take 4 or 5 fillers than have my room and board go up $50 a semester. For that kind of money, I'll just avoid them once they're in the house."
As a result of the increase in cost, the ideas of friendship and brotherhood that the fraternities had previously epitomized were now pushed to the wayside. The question of which fraternity a student should join had quickly evolved into, should a student join a fraternity? The formerly desirable exclusive fraternities were seen as much less desirable and as more of an option than a necessity.
And there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing.